I have no information about the Supreme Court of Cassation ruling. The laws are clear that that they shouldn't send my case back to be reviewed, but the laws are also clear that when you're being attacked by 13 men, that you're allowed to defend yourself. And I got 20 years anyway.
What do you fear? Tell me about how you feel about the prospect of going back there for another 6 years.
The fear of going back to prison is connected with the fact that this fascist party still controls the prisons, and they are very vicious, violent and corrupt. And probably if I go back to prison, first of all, there is not a judge in Bulgaria who would give me parole again. Not only would I not get parole, but for sure the fascists, the VMRO fascists who control the prisons, for sure they would set me up. They would put drugs in my room, they would get a false witness against me, they would set me up to try and get me another sentence and to put me back into maximum security prison. So my fear is that if I go back to prison, not that I'll go back to prison, but actually that I'll be set up by this ruling fascist party who controls the prisons in Bulgaria. They are crazily corrupt. I think one of the ironies that people have to think about is if I'm innocent, if I'm innocent or at least not guilty for what I'm charged and convicted for 2007, then there is a massive crisis of justice in Bulgaria. However, if I'm guilty for 2007, I'm guilty as charged, guilty as convicted. What does this say about the head prosecutor's office that I'm a convicted, premeditated murderer? I'm the criminal, I'm the bad guy, and for 26 days, the head prosecutor's office has clearly been openly lying to the entire Bulgarian public and to Australian public and to anybody who's paying attention.
You stood up for those Roma men.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'd seen neo-Nazis in Bulgaria attack Roma people before, and also because a couple of months before my fight with these neo-Nazis, there were a couple of murders whereby neo-Nazis had beaten Roma to death. And so on that night in December 2007, I clearly understood what the situation was, and I wasn't going to allow a murder to happen in front of me, you know? I wasn't going to allow these guys to beat this guy to death. I mean, can you imagine if they had beaten the guy to death and everyone had just been watching? I had been watching, you know?
So do you have any regrets about having that knife in your pocket?
You know, your first year of prison, you go back through every choice you made, and you go it over and over and over again and again and again. And I mean, it's not just a question of should I have carried the knife, or would things have been different if I had carried the knife? I mean, if I didn't have the knife, would I have even gone there in the first place to have helped the Roma? I would have been more afraid for my life in that situation, for example. But it goes even further back. I didn't even want to come to Sofia that night. I wanted to stay in the village, and then I wasn't going to come to Bulgaria. I was going to go somewhere else, and then I didn't even want to leave England. So you go back through every life choice, and you work out and you make a map in your mind over and over when you're lying in your prison bed, exactly how many choices you made to get to where you are at that moment, you know?
Have you ever been lying there in your bunk thinking about the missed years? I mean, your missed 20s, your opportunities, loves.
Well, it's kind of a bit ironic, but and probably my mates are going to have my mates are either gonna beat me or have a laugh. But I kind of look at the lives of my mates in Sydney, and they don't really have anything that I don't have. So I'm 33. Next month I'm 34. Basically, none of my mates are married. They don't have their own houses. Everybody's renting. None of them have any jobs in anything that they did degrees in. Some of them have done. I think all of them have quit degrees without finishing, and done other degrees. Almost none of them have any children. So really, I don't feel like I've missed much. I feel like kind of like where I'm leaving prison, kind of on an equal par with my mates in Sydney.